representing. Here to weigh in is Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan and Tim Miller, former ICE special agent. Congressman, let's start with you. Is this at any surprise to you today that this happened?
No, and a great monologue. And, instead of the mayor and the governor blaming the ICE agent who's defending himself and his colleagues, how about the situation, as you talked about, that they created there? When you dox, when you harass, when you interfere with federal law enforcement doing their job, when you're a sanctuary jurisdiction, you create this environment where it's just explosive. And then the rhetoric, I think, as you pointed out, just makes it that much worse. So, yeah, God bless these guys who risk their lives and go out there and to face what they have to face day in and day out. They're
not getting rich doing this, by the way.
No,
these agents, they have wives and husbands at home, too.
Just like our military. They're doing the Lord's work, and they're doing it well, and they put their lives on the line. And to have people... This is the left, though. This is the left that says, we're going to harass this. We're going to defund the police. We're going to talk about America is not about rugged individualism. It's about collectivism. This is today's crazy left. And when you create this environment, think about the judge in Milwaukee. The good guys are coming in the front door of the courthouse to get the bad guy, and the judge says, I'm going to let the bad guy go out the back door so that it costs... jeopardizing the safety of the public, jeopardizing the safety of to go arrest that individual when they could have turned him over right there in the courtroom.
I think the truth is they think America is an illegitimate country. Our system of laws is racist. It was founded on racism. We need to give back the stolen land. I mean, this is really what they believe. So start giving back your own house. Tim, according to the Daily Mail, witnesses claimed that the suspect and her wife were acting as, quote, legal observers and filming the protest when she was shot. But ICE insisted that she tried to use the SUV, as we know, as a deadly weapon. Tim, I know it's kind of hard to see everything in these videos. We don't know what happened exactly before this blew up as it did. But what's your sense, given what you're seeing?
Yeah, so to Congressman Jordan's point, this is a fundamental battle between good and evil, Lauren. I mean, we got to call it what it is. When you have folks actively targeting and resisting law enforcement, there's no middle ground. You either want law and order or you want chaos and carnage, and that's where we are. And today was a great example. I probably have done several hundreds of these warrants in different types of settings. Guess what we always had? Law enforcement, local law enforcement support. Think about this incident, Laura. What if a marked officer was there to go up and say, move? The ICE agents wouldn't have had to do it, but they're faithfully trying to do their job. And to Congressman Jordan's point, these guys get up every day. They don't say, hey, I think I'll make some laws. They're doing what the American people voted through their representatives to make into law. They're doing that faithfully. And quite frankly, I can't believe what they're facing every day, because remember, it's not just about them doing their job. They have families that are being targeted. It's insane.
Congressman, Minnesota AG, your old friend Keith Ellison, no shock here, blaming Trump. Yeah. Writing that the president is deliberately weaponizing the federal government against the people of Minnesota to inflict pain and instill terror. We must stand up to this horrendous injustice, and in doing so, we must not stoop to Donald Trump's level. So, Congressman, having laws duly executed, passed by Congress, and enforcing those laws is an illegitimate, racist endeavor, illegal endeavor, according to him. Essentially, that's what you have to believe.
I would just point out, this is the same attorney general who met with the people who were bilking the taxpayers, the federal taxpayers, of all this money and this other issue going on there in Minnesota. Same guy who met with the people who were doing that. Some of them went to prison, friends of those individuals with this feeding our future. That was supposed
we're getting into that in a little bit.
Yeah, but the same guy then 2 weeks later took money from those very people, and he's giving us a lecture. This is the left again. Every single time there's something that happens, they blame President Trump.
Tim, are they well within their rights, well within their rights, in your view, given what you've seen, to fire on that vehicle?
Yeah, so let me be clear. I was at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. I trained agents. We have always trained agents that a 4,000-pound vehicle is perhaps more deadly than a weapon. So when the vehicle was clearly moving in the direction of the agent, he clearly can exercise deadly force to protect himself or others. And credit to, Secretary Note. She came right out and said that's what he was trained to do. That's what he did. And it's important to remember for your audience, they have quarter seconds to make these decisions. And that's where Graham versus Connor, the Supreme Court case, they say, hey, we shouldn't judge over years what officers have to decide in quarter seconds.
Well, and I remember at one point, Congressman Jordan, the Biden administration, I believe, changed the rules of engagement at the border, and agents were essentially told to stand down against moving vehicles. Like, who wants to sign up for that work?
Remember the guys riding the horses? They blamed them. Remember that whole incident on the border? So that, to your point, they always blame the law enforcement guys.
All right, panel, thank you both very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.